Have you had one of those days where you're just so tired, or you're just getting over the junk and it's just lingering? That's where I'm at today. And I'm also well aware that there's lots of internet buzz and drama related to me that's being talked about like literally all over the place. And I hate to bring that kind of stuff to this channel, so I will just say that I am good. There's a lot of stuff being said about me that is 100% false, and I am 100% confident in the group that I have working with me along with my lawyers. So any claims that I'm doing things that are illegal, completely false. So don't worry your pretty little heads about me. I'm good, and I'm gonna stick to my channel where I just hang out by myself because that's the best place for me. If you're coming here for drama, sorry, it's not gonna happen.
Hi beautiful people, welcome back. Hope everybody is doing well. You guys, 2 videos in one day. Wow, who am I? I just could not resist it because this is a video that has been a long time coming. I haven't had the time to actually get down to it and put it out, but you know what? Here I am. I'm gonna finally put it out because this has to be said. It has to be said. So before we get into it, please do not take what I say as fact. Feel free to do your own research and come to your own conclusions. So if you have not heard by now, there has been a new filing filed in court today from Todd Chrisley in regard to KJ, because Miss Know-It-All truly thinks that she does know it all. She knows that she's a lawyer, she's a reporter, she's a journalist, she's a relationship expert. Have I forgotten anything else? But anyway, our response to that is this. The smear campaign. When a narcissist has lost control of you, they want to make sure you are not looked upon favorably, especially when it relates to them. They also want to get their story out, therefore, before you, or in case you tell people the truth about who they are. They want everyone to think they were victimized and you were in fact the villain. They have no problem out in and out lying, twisting and telling only half the story. They make you into the horrible person and even project their bad qualities onto you. They do whatever it takes to make you look like the villain and them the victims. Answer me something. When you know that you are the type of person that Katie Joy is, does she not basically absorb what she's reading and knowing with what she does on how she's the one that deflects, projects, and also gaslights and manipulates her audience? Does she not sit back and realize that, damn, this is exactly what I do? Because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out she, in my opinion, is describing herself. Last week, Katie Joy went on this attack against Emily D. Baker for her own stupidity. Because if you had watched my video in regard to her just jumping down people's throats that this lawsuit that 7M filed against her was not filed in court and that these people are in bed with the cults, and she made herself look like an arsehole. Whereas Katie Joy was sitting right there by her desk. All she had to do was turn and log onto a computer and double check to see maybe if it has been filed. But the idiot, in my opinion, that Katie Joy is, that feels that she is above all, be all, and that knows everything, made herself a total arsehole, period. And in turn, because the hatred that she has for Emily D. Baker, in my opinion, took over her emotions. What's weird to me is the fact that she's quick to acknowledge other people's actions, but not her own. So she posted this in the week and it states, deleting evidence. Now the smear account is gone, removed, deleting evidence during a lawsuit. I have archived posts, but I don't delete pages. That's a little suspicious in my opinion. What are you hiding? Katie Joy, it's about time you focus on yourself. Because realistically, things are not going in your favor. So this was Katie Joy's first dirty delete. She says, a YouTuber has gone out of her way to make a big deal out of baseless lawsuits against me. Talking about it now. The facts are this. Emily Baker knows nothing about me. Emily Baker is not licensed to practice as an attorney in Tennessee. Emily participated and encouraged harassment of me during the Tati lawsuit against me. I won the lawsuit. She never apologized to me. If you want the tea on my lawsuit, come to me because my legal team says it's baseless. We are filing a response and are filing counterclaims. The lawsuit will never get to court. There will be no settlement and I will not be forced into silence. Emily speaks about me because she has a legion of Katie haters that worship her. She has no credibility, I'm assuming that's what she meant, with me. When I was my lowest point during the Westbrook lawsuit, she made my life miserable. She is not an attorney. I have no respect for her. I don't support her. She's not a good person. Good people don't imply that a baseless civil lawsuit could result in my arrest. Oh yes, she said that. You want the damn tea on this lawsuit? Come to me. Emily is betting 0 on the lawsuit's analysis of mine. This was a woman that went on her Instagram and called Emily D. Baker that bitch. To make an accusation that Emily D. Baker participated and encouraged people to harass Katie Joy? Are you fucking out of your mind, Katie Joy? Because if I can remember correctly, you were the one that sat on your high chair recliner and told people to go after people that are coming against you, to fight for you, to stand up for you, to take up for you. Don't get things twisted. If you want to say and make yourself feel better that you won the lawsuit, all well and good, go ahead. You won the lawsuit in Washington due to a technicality of jurisdiction, okay? Number one. Number two, you settled the lawsuit. Drop the bullshit, in my opinion, that you said that you would have won the lawsuit because allegedly you were filing a countersuit. So are you trying to say that Tati and them got scared of your countersuit, that they decided to sit down, mediate with you and settle with you? Because all that does not make sense. Tati didn't lose anything. You lost your YouTube channel, you gave up your source, and you lost a whole lot of money. So how did you win that part of the lawsuit, Katie Joy, in your own state of Minnesota? If you were so confident you were going to win that lawsuit, why the fuck did you settle? Good for you, now that you feel that this lawsuit is going nowhere. Props to you for the confidence that you have. But maybe, just maybe, you should keep up to date with what's filed and what's not filed instead of making yourself look like an arsehole like you did before. And Katie, I get it. I get it. And that's what makes me think about when I do my videos now about you. Because your mental state is not that strong. Because like you said, when you were at your lowest point during the Tati lawsuit, you made a lot of people scared that they thought that you were going to take your life. So that to me proves that you are not mentally strong enough. Because in my opinion, how many lawsuits are you facing right now? 3, right? And as to my prior video, Todd Chrisley said there's 2 more coming down the pipe. So that's 5 lawsuits, Katie Joy. It's time to humble yourself. Of course you don't respect her. And how the hell do you know that she's not a good attorney? How? Did you look her up on Google? Because quite honestly, you got ill, I'm sure, from when you saw her Business Insider article. And the only thing you can come up with was, oh, I'm not one to go out and talk about how much I earn. Yeah, you won't do that. Oh, and P.S. There's a video out there that speaks highly about Katie Joy, about her journey on YouTube, about her career, and she's got like $636,000 in the bank. I will leave that down below. Feel free, go have a look at it, check it out. It's quite hilarious. So for the fact that you were bragging about how you can buy 2 Bentleys, okay, girl, you go for it. Then she posts this a day later, or I can't even remember if it was the same day or same night. This woman posts so much. It's hard for, I can't keep up. I truly cannot keep up. This was her second attack on Emily D. Baker. KJ talking about ethical rules with the laughing emoji. Please read my new post about the FBI investigation that resulted from the first lawsuits Emily covered about me. Not only was I victimized, but the person, so was Emily. So I'd hope she would just move on from me. Are we going to play the victim card now? I fight against cults and for victims of abuse. I don't fight other YouTubers and hang out with their haters. Seems as though somebody's a bit salty. I stand by my reporting and will keep fighting. I don't co-sign this. Emily has laughed and mocked me for years. She covers my lawsuits because she's neutral. I live in a world where Emily can say whatever she wants about me, but if I respond, I'm bullied by her fans. I don't care about Emily. I'm just tired of her bias and obvious dislike for me, driving her desire to cover me. I'm irrelevant. Emily, I'm not a reality star. Why bother with me? Don't you have a housewife to talk about? Emily is so bound to a request by my attorney due to a lawsuit to not destroy any evidence. She has related to her electronic communications with people who have actively trolled and harassed me for years. But she always ignores that part. If you follow her, you don't have to unfollow her. I just feel it's fair for me to respond to her. She hasn't shut up about me in almost 2 years. I rarely ever speak about her, and I don't make videos about her on my channel. Why the exaggeration? Tina, if you're out there, or Kim, if you're out there, or anybody that she has in the past accused for harassing her over the past 2 years, your title has been revoked because you haven't been harassing her or stalking her, doing all this bullshit for 2 years. Now it's Emily that has been doing that to her in 2 years. Emily hasn't even been covering her for 2 years. Honestly, the exaggeration, wow, absolutely wow. And another thing is that, and once again, you guys, I am not speaking on behalf of Emily D. Baker. She can speak on behalf of herself. But you see, shit like this needs to be put out there because KJ takes it way too far. Way too far. This was her own ignorance that got her to where she is. Instead of just going to your computer and checking if your lawsuit has been filed with the court, but Miss Know-it-all, Miss leaning on my own understandings, look where it got you. Pie in your face. You had to bury your head in the sand. And damn right, Katie Joy, you are irrelevant. But you want to be relevant so bad, but it's just not working out for you, in my opinion. And let's not forget, in my opinion, the only reason why you can't stand Emily Baker was because you couldn't feed your shit to Emily D. Baker. She's smarter than that. You are the one that held a grudge in regard to that. That is what she called unbiased. She didn't hear a Tati side of the story. She was going off court records. And the audacity to make false claims about Emily D. Baker getting information from the opposing side. Are you fucking kidding me? You better have all your ducks in a row because you are truly, in my opinion, going off on the edge. You need to worry about yourself. Emily D. Baker is living her best life. She gives a shit about you. She's got her own things going on. And another thing, I totally disagree about your claim that you fight against cults and you fight for victims. Recently, in my opinion, you have been victimizing victims. Going off on not what's happening in the now, but what has happened in the past to other people. Now, in your right mind, but telling people, or maybe these are your ignorant followers, and I mean no disrespect by that, but it just boggles my mind how somebody can just absorb every word that comes out of your mouth. Oh, you don't have to unfollow her. It's like, really, boo? And then we get this statement from your husband, involving himself in women's drama. He needs to stay in his lane too, Katie Joy. Just the other day, you were talking about how you don't want no man to take up for you. But look at this. Your husband is involving himself talking about another woman and her dealings. He needs to actually keep an eye on you, not somebody else's wife. Who is he? What is he? He forgets to take note and mention that Emily D. Baker, she may drink hard liquor or a high count of alcohol in her liquor, but she knows how to handle her liquor. She doesn't go off the rails and want to fight people on Instagram. Let's be clear about that. Let's not get things twisted. That's all he seems to do, always going after females. She posts RE, external email investigation. Ma'am, we're going to reach out to both of you next week. We'll be closing our investigation into, we served 7 search warrants and interviewed both subjects. I can say with confidence that Kenneth is solely responsible for the harassment. Somebody says I have not communicated with her since 2021. They've essentially become victims as well. I can do my best to get someone over to Kenneth's residence in the UK as basically a final warning to knock it off. Though I'm not sure if that will make matters worse. Has the harassment continued? Thank you. And this allegedly supposed to be an email from the FBI about the stalking she faced due to the Westbrook lawsuit. And she says, during a 2020 lawsuit filed against me by Tati Westbrook, a woman named Natalie Kennett inserted herself into the lawsuit. Tati's attorneys became convinced by Natalie that I was sending death threats, creating troll accounts, threatening her, threatening others, that Tati's former business partner hired me to smear her, and that I was hacking into their accounts. Not only did I get hundreds of threats, so did Tati's attorney, Emily Baker, Tati, my attorney, and other YouTubers. They all blamed me. After I settled with Tati, her attorneys and my team began working to uncover who was behind the threats. Both Michael Saltz and I received disturbing threats against our children. Natalie was able to convince most commentators on YouTube that I was behind all of this. Emily Baker, Creepshow Art, Truth Sleuth, Nick Snyder, Dustin Dailey, Keemstar, among others all believed these claims. Dozens of videos were made about me. Everything came to a climax this fall when Natalie Kennett swatted my home multiple times. Swatting is when a false report is made to police in the hopes that a SWAT team or police will show up with guns drawn to potentially kill the victim they are swatting. Natalie swatted me by reporting that my husband held a gun to my head and was threatening to kill me. Another swatting involved the murder of Gabby Petito. Natalie contacted the FBI and said that I was harboring blind laundry in my basement. 2 police officers showed up at my home very aggressively. Their guns were not drawn, but they were prepared for anything. For reference, I live in a small town. Our local sheriff's office infrequently deals with violence. Wearing bulletproof vests isn't standard for all calls. After this incident, local police began working with the FBI. Together, through a joint investigation, they found Natalie Kennett as the perpetrator and that I was a victim among others. Because Natalie lives in the UK, there's nothing the FBI can do. So if I'm triggered by Emily inserting herself into my life, this is why. She's never apologized to me for getting the story wrong. She was also a victim of Natalie, so I would think she'd understand. This is all the way fucked up. Now, when she says that Natalie Kennett inserted herself in this lawsuit between her and Tati, Katie Joy always stood by during the lawsuit. She stood by and said she had no idea who Natalie Kennett is throughout the lawsuit, okay? But isn't it weird that when she allegedly won the lawsuit and she did her victory stream, why did she then take the time to admit that she knew who Natalie Kennett was, but she only spoke to her once on Instagram?
Is there anything I can tell us about her? I don't know anything about her. I said on Twitter tonight, and I'll say it again, that I've never had a conversation with this person. I did one interaction on my Instagram. That was it. I've never spoken to her. I've never talked to her. I've never had a FaceTime with her. I've never emailed with her. I've never, nothing.
And yes, those vile threats that were made to all parties was unacceptable. They were disgusting. They were uncalled for. How did Natalie Kennett get involved in all this? How? Because you know what seems weird to me too, is that if somebody had done such horrendous things to me and my child or my family, there's no fucking way am I going to go on a stream and suck up to that person. And how you feel so bad for Natalie Kennett. Feel free, I'll link Kay Baxter's stream down below, where Katie Joy sat on a live stream with Natalie Kennett. And let me tell you, the same Natalie Kennett that Katie Joy accused of producing or trying to produce CSAM against her son. Which person in their right mind is going to apologize to that person the way Katie Joy did in that stream? How she feels so bad that Natalie had to go through this. And another thing, if the FBI found that Natalie was the only person responsible for this, see in that same stream how she accused Steve McRae of working with Natalie. That is fucked up. She has not apologized to Steve McRae. She has not apologized to Kim Fulmer. She has not apologized to Tina, to Jennifer Folk, all those people that she was accusing during this lawsuit of doing illegal stuff when they had no part and parcel of any of this. Where is their apology? Why has she not set the record straight for this? Where, Katie Joy? You're supposed to be this upstanding, nationally known reporter or journalist. Don't you go and you rectify the stories? Don't you? So where's their apologies? I still can't fathom, because me, I'm a different breed. I am a totally different breed. Fuck with my kids or any parts of my family, I'm gonna hunt you down. I am going to hunt you down. I am not gonna sit on no fucking stream and feel bad for you and feel sorry for you. And if I have to jump through that screen, trust me, I will do whatever I need to do to protect my children or my family, whichever one it is. You got time for games, Katie Joy. Who was the one that was still communicating when she said that she was privy to whatever information Michael Sauls had? She got that information. At this point, Michael Sauls had all of this Natalie Kennett's social medias, whatever was going down. Why was she even still dealing with Natalie Kennett? Because she sat on an Instagram live once again and was bragging about how she had such a super sleuth day today. And in that live, you will notice her saying how Natalie Kennett was threatening suicide. Now, if you go back to when the lawsuit was going on, she came and she made a video about Trisha Paytas and how Trisha Paytas was calling Shane Dawson out. And before she started that stream, she said she spoke to somebody on the phone that needs our prayers, that needs our well wishes or good vibes or something like that, because they were threatening to harm themselves. Was that perhaps Natalie Kennett she was talking to? Just asking. Dragging all these people in. They don't even fuck with Katie Joy. Emily D. Baker, she goes about her business. Everybody knows she covers The Real Housewives. She's been covering Erika Jane, Britney Spears and their whole episodes. It's just been a shit show. It's just been so much that Emily has been covering, okay? And now she's going after Dustin DAILEY, Nick Snyder, Creepshow Art, Truth Sleuth, Keemstar. These people don't fuck with her. She's irrelevant. But because she's so thirsty for that attention, even if it's negative attention, she's going to try her luck. But you know what? They all gave their responses, except I haven't seen any response from Keemstar and Creepshow Art. Okay, let's talk about Creepshow Art, okay? She's fucked up so many times. Huge fuck-ups, okay? But Katie Joy, can you tell me, with that video that Creepshow Art had done about you and about Lori, what did she get wrong? I didn't see anything wrong with that. It just seemed very factual. And then Keemstar. Why are you messing with Keemstar? You went and you spread lies about him already, but you insist on coming forward and fucking with him again. So you guys, as I said, this is how Emily responded to Katie Joy.
You are somebody that I don't know, but you're taking shots at me like it's Patron, and I'm just like, damn, it's 7 a.m.
I'm sorry, you guys, I could not play the full video. I would have gotten copyrighted, but I'm sure you get the gist of it. That, to me, was brilliant. Then this was Nick Snyder's response.
It's come to my attention that without a crystal ball, Katie Joy Paulson, I believe is her name, also the person that's getting sued by Todd Chrisley and many others. I've never actually seen someone on YouTube get this many fucking lawsuits, but I think that she's kind of addicted to it. She likes that attention. Well, she's trying to name myself, Emily Baker, Creepshow, Truth Sleuth, DUSTIN DAILEY, and Keemstar, and she says that we're all believed to have been in contact with someone named Natalie when she was getting sued. Bitch, who the fuck is Natalie? So this Gumby looking bitch right here that is being accused of always wearing adult diapers so she never has to get off the internet because people saw your closet, bitch. Katie, I think you're giving me a little bit too much credit. I actually don't have to go and try to get in contact with anyone in anyone's life. If you watch any of my content, you know I'm always getting called out for not going to the source, not doing that. I don't give a fuck, Katie. You make yourself look bad enough online, and it's easy enough to find information on you just from fucking Twitter. What you should really be worried about, Katie, is the fact that you are a grown-ass adult over 35 who is wearing a shirt that has your name with a definition underneath it. You're clearly lacking something essential.
And this is just a portion of DUSTIN DAILEY's response, because I would love for you to go ahead and check him out. I don't want to take the views away from him. He gave it to her. Trust you me, he gave it to her.
But for her to sit there and put my name in something that she says affected her in any way with this person that like allegedly like doxed her and did all this shit to her, there cannot be anything farther from the truth. I feel like she does this every once in a while and puts my name out there with Nick, and she tries to get a reaction, and you know what? This time you got it. Katie, I don't like you. I don't even know that you exist until my name is mentioned by you. You're in your own world. You do not exist to me, and I promise you that the vast majority of people that watch your videos, you don't exist to them either. They're just trying to catch up on the newest fuckery that you're doing. And while I'm on the topic of you, Katie, why do you keep mentioning Emily D. Baker? Emily is an attorney. You seem to be very upset that she has something that you don't. I don't even know if you're a journalist, but you're very upset there's an actual attorney giving legal commentary on the shit that you're doing. You're not an attorney. I have seen you make so many different assumptions and say so many different things about different things that have happened in the past with your lawsuits and stuff. And anyone that has any kind of brains at all knows that you ain't shit. You don't know anything. And to be honest, I don't even know how you've made it this far without having your channel taken down for the shit that you do. And, you know, honestly, I really hope that Todd Chrisley takes your ass to the cleaners, because it's what you deserve. It's what you deserve. You harass people nonstop, and then if the person that you're harassing doesn't submit and agree to what you're saying, they're automatically a bad guy, or they're part of a cult, they're part of the problem. No. Maybe you need to turn that mirror on yourself and look at it.
I've got a lot of messages stating that Nick and DUSTIN have been shouting me out. I truly appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. I appreciate them as human beings. I don't have to know them personally, but I can see people with good hearts. And they truly do have good hearts. They just live in their life. Nick has been through such tragedy the past few months, but this woman wants to fuck with him now. Seriously, Katie Joy? Then Truth Sleuth also gave her response, and I'm going to also list her video down below. Please go ahead, check it out. And let me say something about Truth Sleuth. Truth Sleuth has also gone through a lot. But you know what? I can take my hat off to her, because she knows how to apologize. When she knows she fucks up, she rectifies it. She'll come and she'll tell you she fucked up. So at the end of the day, Katie, you don't know how to do all that. You don't know accountability, period. Now, when you mentioned that your house was swatted, okay, it's very weird that you say that when your house is swatted, please come to your house aggressively. But that's not what you told when you were telling the story, Katie Joy, on your YouTube channel. You said that the police officer came. You said the police officer came, knocked on your door and said, so what's going on? If I'm can remember correctly. So which is it? And this is the biggest mind-blowing thing for me, Katie Joy. You are so triggered by Emily D. Baker that is reporting on your lawsuits, but you fucking not triggered by Natalie Kennett that tried to produce CP on your son? How does that work? I'm confused. I'm highly confused. Make that make sense. You had no problem dealing with Natalie Kennett when you needed information. When you wrote to Natalie Kennett or when you emailed Natalie Kennett about how you verified that it was Steve McRae's Instagram that she was dealing with, and still the fucking nerve of it is that you told Natalie Kennett not to let anybody know that you were communicating with her. Why? Why? How long have you been communicating with Natalie Kennett, KJ? How long? Because that seems very suspicious to me. Just my opinion. But it just something does not add up. Stop going after people that don't give a damn about you. There's so many of us out there that report on you, but you won't call us out. I'm not saying you need to call us out, but I'm just saying this is how your brain works. You don't want to call, like, example, okay? When you were talking about how, and I'm not calling anybody out, I'm just stating facts, okay? You went after Emily D. Baker. You see, in the morning, your lawsuit was filed. I saw Aaron from EKC People Suck report on it. Then Charlotte on the web was reporting on it. And then people just started following suit and posting it and stuff like that. But then you take innocent people like Emily D. Baker, who, let me remind you, is a legal commentator on YouTube, was actually simplifying things for us that do not know a damn thing about the law and putting it in layman's terms for us. You got your panties in a bunch. When you found out that you fucked up and you look like the biggest idiot going, you decided to go after Emily D. Baker. You decided to go after DUSTIN DAILEY, Nick Snyder, SLEUTH, Keemstar, Creepshow Art. Why? Why them? Because they're the bigger audience. That's where you'll get more people coming to your channel and seeing, who the fuck is this person? You won't call out Charlotte on the web. You won't call out Aaron. You won't call out anybody else because you don't want them to flourish. But remember how your bullshit started with Nick Snyder? Because you felt he didn't credit you? Wow. Absolutely wow. But you guys, that's it. I'm done. Katie Joy and her husband, in my opinion, needs to stay in their lane. And he needs to focus on men that come as his wife. Not women, men. Thank you guys so much. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Please be safe out there. Be kind to one another. And don't forget, make good memories. Bye, guys.